I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight, and instead of teaching a little bit later in the service, I'm going to teach right now, because what I want to share has something to do with the Shema, which we'll be joining together and chanting in just a few moments. So many of you know that one of the things I have the privilege of doing at the temple is overseeing our conversion program. And interestingly, in the months since the pandemic began, I'm getting more than double the number of calls from folks looking to learn more about Judaism. And the result is that I spend a lot of time helping non-Jews discover Judaism. And I get to see it through their eyes, as they are astonished by so many things that many of us take for granted and don't give a second thought to. The biggest of which is theology. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Uh-oh, here goes the rabbi. He's going to talk about God now, which of course we all know is every Jew's least favorite thing to talk about. If I had $1 for every time someone came up to me and said, well, you know, Rabbi, I'm more of a secular Jew, or I'm really just a cultural Jew, Rabbi. Well, more often than not, what they're really trying to tell me is that they don't know what, if anything, they do believe about God. But that's the point. That's the point. Theology is not defining for us as Jews. There's an old joke about 2 Jews and 3 opinions. Well, it's true. And it extends to God. It extends to theology. This shocks most non-Jews. The very idea that a religious tradition does not only prescribe a single theology is incredible. How is that possible? Well, consider the words of the Shema that we will chant in just a moment, words that are actually taken from this week's Torah portion. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. It's the central imperative in all of Judaism. So important that our ancestors saw fit to stencil it 10 stories above their heads around the oculus in our magnificent sanctuary and paint them on the walls of the chapel at the Irmis campus. Our famous statement of monotheism. But that's really all it is. A statement of a belief in one God. Nowhere does it tell us what we must believe about that one God. It's one of the most beautiful things about Judaism. The space for the diversity of beliefs about that one unifying force in the universe. So simply and so beautifully put in the Torah this week and in the words of the Shema.